Hello, 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 everyone. I hope you're having a good day. Don't mind what you're about to see. Transition. Yes, I have cat. Everyone say hello to Anakin again. He was a little scared earlier, so I had to pick him up and hold. I'm gonna hold him. Hopefully, he won't interfere too much in the video, but we'll see. So again, in this video, I'm going to be talking about something I talked about a long time ago. If you remember, uh, a long time ago, I talked about how I disagreed with the idea of Aang sparing Ozai, and that again, uh, that's not. Well, it was my personal opinion of something I thought the team could have gone in a different direction in. Now, this video is sort of a part two, but I'm not gonna name it. I'm not gonna, it's a spiritual part two. I'll say that. So, yeah, uh, yeah. So, in that video, I talked about why I didn't like how I didn't like Aang's characterization in the finale, the 3 or 4 part finale that the team had. Now, granted, in that finale, the team did a remarkable uh, job of writing a way for Aang to solve the moral dilemma he found himself in. And again, I think Aang had valid points. I think the other characters had valid points. That was not a hey, Aang needs to do this because to do this.
No, they're not when I sat with you guys. Is Anakin okay?
Yeah, he freaked out a bit when you opened the door. Sorry,
Is he
Nathan's
okay?
coming in. There you go.
Bud?
I is recording and had him. Anyway, say hi to Nathan's disembodied voice.
I think he got into something while he was outside.
Okay,
Are you doing better?
that's on camera now. Anyway,
Yeah,
so
he's doing better. I think he got into something.
don't pay attention to Nathan talking over there, trying to talk to me while I'm recording.
Sorry.
No, you're not. Anyway, so yes, while I disagree in one way, I also agree in other ways. And just don't pay attention to Nathan Baby talking to his cat.
Yeah.
He's making it right.
Yep.
I think that's why he ran to me.
You're right. Anyway, so while I disagree with Aang, while I disagree with Aang, in one sense, I don't disagree with the choice to portray it that way. And again, the writers provided a way for Aang to not do something that he thinks he would regret doing. Um, so I think what's going to happen, or well, this is basically the other side of that coin. Of was it right to spare Ozai in that moment? I can't argue with it. Of course, you guys should, our longtime fans should know. And if you're just joining the channel, hello. Well, leave a like, comment, subscribe if you like. But I think this is the other side of the coin that of that video I released earlier. I think, of course, if you guys don't know us, you'll figure out quickly. But if you guys do know us, you know that we are Christians, and we treat human life at the very least, with some form of respect. So, yes. Well, I personally believe that capital punishment is ordained by God in this fallen world. I also believe, hey, if it can be avoided, avoid it. If it can be avoided, avoid it. Don't go around. While While I appreciate all the westerns and all the frontier justice type of thing we see in John Wayne movies and a lot of in Clint Eastwood movies, while I can appreciate that, um, that doesn't mean I think we should be doing that. Just I don't think one person should be going out and killing another and unaliving other people. I should say, for little to no reason. So, and I'm going to commend the writers here. The writers made a valuable effort in characterizing Aang as a person who's struggling with between his beliefs, between what he was taught to believe, and his duty as a person who defends the balance of this world. So, you know, I think they did a brilliant job in not only characterizing Aang, but also characterizing the other characters that he interacts with. Zuko, Sokka, Katara, and Toph. Well, Toph to a lesser extent, but Zuko, Katara, and Toph. Not Zuko, Katara, and Toph. Zuko, Katara, and Sokka understand that this is a war, and sometimes the ability to spare someone is not there. So their reasoning is valid. Aang's reasoning is valid because yes, treat human life with some sort of respect. Why? Because at least in our world, humans are made in the image of God. So don't just go around killing people for no reason. The second reason I think Aang why he really wants to spare Ozai is because he's 12. Now, again, the arrow tattoos we see on his body, on Aang's body, signify him as a master of the airbending arts. You know, he is a master, due in part to him inventing a new airbending technique, the air scooter, or it's that little air ball of air that we see him use all the time. That gave him mastery of airbending. Now, again, I think within extra content, like extra canon, is revealed that there are like 12 airbending techniques that you would have to master if you do not create a technique by yourself. So, if Aang had not created that technique, he would have to master that last scroll. Anyway, but I think something Aang also did master, and I think this is part of Gyatso's teaching him, and what Gyatso was referencing when he said, I'm trying to teach Aang the right way, or I'm trying to let him be young. I think Gyatso intended to tell Aang, hey, yes, treat all life with respect, treat it, don't go about mistreating animals and human and people, Don't go about mistreating animals, people, and plants. Don't do that. Don't go about mistreating other life forms because you can. However, I think Gyatso would have also said, hey, there are going to be people, and this is something integral to the Avatar role, the role of the Avatar, I should say, is it's there. Gyatso would tell him, hey, there are going to be some times in your life that you cannot spare people from dying. Whether it be you find them dying and you cannot save them, or whether you can, it being, hey, sometimes you're going to need to take someone else's life. And I think, once Aang learns he is the Avatar, there's a timeline video that I put out earlier. Again, in one of the alternate timelines, watch as Nathan puts his watch on his charger. Magic.
That was good form right there, I thought.
Oh, that was
Nice form.
Did that just get on the camera? Oh, that totally did.
Yep. At least the back half. Now I have cat on the head.
You're welcome.
Anyway.
That's how you go viral.
Anyway, see how long I can keep this up. Actually,
You're
no.
not going outside.
I'm gonna take him off now.
Smash
Hey,
me,
buddy.
so you're not going outside.
Hey, buddy. Go on. Go on. He likes being on shoulders. And on the back of my chair. Don't you even think about it. Okay, he went the other direction. Never mind. Anyway, so I think in an ideal timeline where Aang stayed with Gyatso, which is again an ideal timeline I tried to describe in another video. I think in a timeline where Aang and Gyatso stay together, as soon as Aang learns he's the Avatar, whether that be again at the age of 12 where we see him learn it in the normal timeline, or in whatever what if where he learns it normally when the Avatar normally learns, which is the age of 16, if I remember my facts correctly. So again, I see.
It's time for bed.
Shut up. Again, you heard Alexa. But anyway, and that timeline where Aang got to stay together, I think, and Aang learns he's the Avatar. Let's just say he learns he's the Avatar at the time the Avatar normally learns an Avatar that normally learns they're the Avatar. I think Aang goes to Gyatso for some advice. He's just like, hey, how do I reconcile this with my beliefs? And Gyatso would redouble that lesson from earlier, saying, hey, this isn't even more important that you're the Avatar now. In your duties, you will not be able to hold to your beliefs, which is what I believe Avatar Yang Chen was trying to say to him. She was trying to tell him, hey, as much as you want to hold to the air nomad beliefs, there are going to be times you cannot. You know, and that's his duties after the Avatar. There are going to be times where he, as the Avatar, cannot abide by the air nomad beliefs, no matter how much he wants to. So that's kind of this video is kind of a little silly video of Nathan doing things and me trying to talk and Anakin being Anakin. So I will end it there and see you guys later. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you want to.